This podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors. Your San Diego County Toyota dealers. We've got what it takes. Fix Auto. Corky's Pest Control. And Lolita's Family of Restaurants.
Hey there, sports fans. Christian Pedersen, Tom Atwell. We are inside the Hall of Champions talking about potential champions. It is playoff time. The brackets just came out. It's time to talk water polo. This one, Division 1. And it was kind of interesting seeing who ended up where. Let's read it off to you. Our teams with buys, Grossmont getting that first seed, Torrey Pines getting that 2 seed, Canyon Crest the 3 seed, and San Marcos the 4 seed. First round games are going to be UC is going to take on Fallbrook, LCC's taking on Sarah, Eastlake, Westview, Granite Hills, Scripps, Ranch. This one very directly tied to the open division because you got kind of the fallout from the open division. This one's a dogfight. This one is an absolute dogfight. You got every team in here has great players and great moments. How do you see it shaking down?
Well, I like Grossmont and I like their game. I think Grossmont has a great chance of making it through their bracket to the finals. On the other side of the bracket, I think it's wide open. I think Canyon Crest, even as low, they have a chance to make a run. Torrey Pines is in there, to make a run. So I think that that bottom bracket could be a fight.
Some interesting stuff here. Grossmont, Torrey Pines have already played this season, so that would be a great rematch in the finals. You love to see that kind of thing set up where it's two teams on the opposite end. And you're like, you know what? If they both know they're out there and they both know that they can get the chance to play at each other, that would be a lot of fun to see. But you bring up interesting Canyon Crest. Not to discredit them, but they didn't threaten to be open division. But they are a very solid Division 1 team. They are a team that played a bunch of tough games, won a bunch of big games. Should be very fun to watch. But you kind of look through all this. LCC has a lot of great scoring. We talked to Hayden Ryder on our podcast earlier this season. He's a great scorer. University City, record-wise, not ending up looking like a powerhouse, but they had to play arguably the toughest league schedule if you're looking at anybody here in this group. Scripps Ranch. We talked about Rancho Bernardo in the D2 bracket. Scripps Ranch went back and forth with RB, so that was part of that like big teams, big games type of thing. If you had to say one team here is the dark horse, who are you saying?
When I look at this, I think Canyon Crest has the possibility to put something together. I just watched them play. They were up at the Steve Powell tournament up in Orange County and played a bunch of tough games. He put together, Coach Tyler Ormsby put together a great schedule this year. So I think, they're a well-coached team, and I think that they have the possibility of making a run through there. There's some, when you look at this bracket and look at where some of the teams that are there, some of the teams probably arguably should be in be in the open division. But through a manipulation of the system, I think wound up in that D1 bracket. And, I think karma coming around, I think that the teams that fought for, in every single game are going to end up coming out on top, I hope.
Well, let's talk about that fight a little bit, because we've got a couple teams that are going to take the first round off and ultimately end up now not playing for almost a week, while other teams are just getting right back in the pool, getting right back in that swing of things. Do you think that it gives teams a little bit of momentum, being that, hey, we're going to play that first playoff game, we're going to get that win, we're going to pick up a little speed, and you know what? We don't care that they're the number 2 seed. We're coming for them, and they're not fresh. We're fresh. We've won a playoff game. Does that play any factor in water polo?
I think it does. I think that first of all, staying sharp and at game speed is a big deal in water polo. And so when you have a week off, it can actually hurt you. And the other thing is, there's a little chip on their shoulder. I think that they feel like they're just as competitive as that team, and that team getting a 1 or 2 ranking, maybe they feel like they don't necessarily deserve, or kind of sandbagging to drop down into that division because they think they're going to walk over everybody. Puts a little bit of a chip on the shoulder for some teams. I think that you're going to see some teams come out with with a lot of fight.
Yeah, so the way it all worked out was that the open division teams and the top 4 seeds in Division 1 were all selected by a hybrid, if you will, of the mathematical power rankings combined with the holistic approach of a selection committee saying we're going to weigh uneven schedules, uneven intent of the seasons. So Grossmont and Torrey Pines both kind of could be here, kind of could be there, but it's one of those things where that's over. You just got to make the best with what you got. So you're right that some of these teams coming in with a huge chip on their shoulder, and it'll be interesting to see how that pit plays out, because it could either be we're here, we want to just blow everybody out of the water to prove that we could be an open division team, or we're just here to win because we didn't want to be an open division team.
Right.
So really interesting to see how that all works out. It's going to be played, first round is on Tuesday. Those will all be at the home of the higher seeded team. Then Thursday, Monday, Saturday at the La Jolla High School Coggin Pool. We will be there, so come check out some games, come watch all the highlights, come enjoy some playoffs. It's a great atmosphere that everything happens at the Coggin Pool. It's just non-stop excitement that there is so much water polo being played. A lot of great teams to watch here. Congratulations to everybody that made themselves playoff teams. You know, that's even if it's as a 12 seed, you can't knock being in the playoffs. You're still playing in the postseason. It's a great opportunity. Everyone's 0-0. Go out there, win some big games, and we will see you